Hello there. Kind of caught me off guard. Welcome to another exciting episode of Knife Chats with Tobias. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you don't care too much for it, well, there's always that other option. But either way, leave me a comment, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and online. Thanks a lot. Get ready for the show. Okay, another Great Eastern to show you. This one was hot off the presses. I have been looking to get this one for a few months now, and that is the number 33 Conductor. The full pattern number for this one is 331220. So the 33 is the Conductor. The 1 is the clip blade, which is the main blade. The 2 is the number of overall blades, so it's got 2 blades. And then the last 20 is the year of production, which is 2020. And obviously, Sanbar Stag refers to the handle material. This one is in the Northfield Unexcelled line. I was actually looking for the one in bone. However, the bone sold out so fast that I was unable to get one. And so I was lucky enough to wrangle one in Stag. Like I mentioned, I would have preferred the one in bone. I thought the bone one looked prettier, but I also know that the Stag, though cost a little bit more, also retains and goes up in value much better than bone will. So it's got that going for it. So let's take a look at the knife. And here we have the number 33 Conductor, which, as you can tell, is an equal end penknife. And if you know anything about the channel, you also know that I really like equal end penknives. And this one is kind of cool because it is also a swell center equal end penknife. I know that Great Eastern also uses this pattern for a whittler. And one of these days, maybe I'll end up with a Great Eastern number 33 whittler. But right now I've got the penknife. And I'm glad that they gave it the name Conductor versus calling it a half whittler. And one of the reasons I like the name Conductor is because I'm also a big fan of trains, especially in the age of steam. So that's kind of cool to have a knife that has that kind of connection to the old trains. You know, the conductor being the person who basically controls a train. And this knife just really looks great. As you can tell, you've got these triple threaded nickel silver bolsters that have also been pinched on both ends, and they look really nice. In typical, you have your brass liners. Both blades are working off of one thick back spring, and then you've got your brass pins and the Sanbar Stag. And I like the Sanbar Stag on this knife better than I do on my number 12 toothpick. So that has that going for it too. I think it's a better match Stag, and it doesn't have that divot in it that this one has. It's noticeable divot there. But both sides definitely have their own character going for them, which is something you should expect in Stag. And I still think I like Case's Stag better than Great Eastern, but I think Great Eastern Stag is more natural than what you see on a Case knife. So I think this is much closer to the actual Sanbar Stag in the natural state with the coloring and everything else. So that's pretty cool, and it does feel nice too. You can definitely catch your finger right there on it. That's a low spot on the Stag. Same down here. And that's mainly because the bolsters are rounded, but the Stag is kind of flat. The back side is actually fitting better than the front side, which kind of happened on this knife too. The back side fits better than the front side on this knife too. So I'm not sure why that is the case, but the pins are nice and smooth. And well, let's take a look at the blades. Like I mentioned, it has a clip blade for the master blade, And in typical Northfield fashion, it has the pad stamping there on the blades for the Northfield Unexcelled. And you see the tang stamp there, Northfield Unexcelled. And then on the backside, GEC Carbon. And then you can obviously, it's one of those things that you almost take for granted with a Great Eastern knife and you don't even bother to talk about it, but the blade, there's absolutely no wobble in there at all. I would give the pull on this knife to be, on this main blade, to be a 5 or a 6. It's pretty tight. I think I'm going to need to flush it out and clean it up a bit, but I really haven't done anything with it yet. This is the second time out of the tube. Little blade, same case, about a 5 or a 6 on the opening. You see here 331 and then 220. So they put the full pattern number on the little blade, but they split it in half. So the front half of the pattern number is on the, well, I guess you would say the nick side of the blade, and then the side without the nick has the last half of the pattern number. Very sharp, 1095 carbon steel, tight as can be again. These do not have any kind of half stop or anything. They just roll around, so it's kind of a lazy half at the top. So it will stop at the top, but you see that it's not a true half stop. It just kind of loosens up there where the spring gets loose. And one of the reasons you have such a tight pull on both blades is because you have that one single thick back spring working both blades. All in all, just a really nice knife. I'm really happy with it. It was a knife that I was anticipating as soon as I saw it show up on the Great Eastern site that they were going to be making this. I was like, man, I got to have one of those. I contacted numerous sellers asking how do I get on the wait list, and several of them, as soon as this knife showed up on the Great Eastern site, I mean literally within hours of me seeing it on the Great Eastern site, I started getting hold of the various distributors and saying, hey, can you put me on the wait list? And several of them said the wait list is already full because they didn't know how many Great Eastern was going to be making of them. So trying to get a hold of one was obviously kind of hard because they were highly anticipated. But the folks at Traditional Pocket Knives was able to secure one for me, and I was able to get it when it came out. Did I really want one in bone? Yeah, but at the same time, I am definitely not disappointed with the Stag. And because it is in Stag, I am much more likely to throw this in my pocket and carry it because, quite frankly, the Sanbar Stag carries a whole lot better in the pocket than bone will. It wears better in the pocket. It doesn't show its age nearly as much. And if I'm basically just carrying this knife for pocket jewelry and light duty and stuff, it's not going to suffer nearly as much as if it was in bone. So that is one of the pluses for the Sanbar Stag. That's also why the Sanbar Stag toothpick is in my everyday rotation for carry on occasion too. So I guess I'm kind of an anomaly. When it comes to the Stag Great Eastern knives, I'm much more likely to carry a Great Eastern cutlery knife that is in Stag than I am in any other handle material, because I trust that it's going to wear better in the pocket than anything else. Not that Great Eastern knives are going to fall apart simply because they're not made of Stag, just that I think the Stag will hold up better than just about anything else out there on any knife. So that's the plus of Stag. To me, it doesn't look as good as quite a few of the different jig bone or wood and stuff, but when it comes to wearing the pocket, you really just can't beat Stag. Any case, stick around for the slideshow of my number 33 Conductor, and yeah, really happy to have a another Great Eastern, and it's probably the last one you're going to see for a while, simply because you can only buy so many of these before you're flat out broke and have to take a second mortgage out on your home. At least I can only buy so many of them before I'm flat broke and need to take out a second mortgage. Let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up or that you know what. And also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.